The Sealed Book. Once again, the keeper of the book has opened the ponderous door to the secret vault, wherein is kept the great sealed book, in which is recorded all the secrets and mysteries of mankind through the ages. Here are tales of every kind, tales of murder, of madness, of dark deeds strange and terrible beyond all belief. Keeper of the book, I would know what tale we tell this time. Open the great book and let us read. Slowly, the great book opens. One by one, the keeper of the book turns the pages and stops. Ah, the strange story of a cursed and evil spirit, a spirit that threatened the peace and happiness of a young married couple. A tale called Stranger in the House. Here is the tale, Stranger in the House, as it is written on the pages of the sealed book. The tale was told by Jane Barton herself.
From the first moment I saw Wickford Manor, I was filled with a sense of uneasiness, almost fear, a fear I couldn't explain. To all outward appearances, Wickford Manor was just another old, staunchly built colonial house, the kind you see through all New England. Roger, my husband, was delighted with the house. Its beauty and remoteness won his heart from the beginning.
Say, take a look at that beautiful staircase. Look at this magnificent fireplace in the drawing room.
Yes, it is beautiful, Roger.
It's just the size house we need, with 4 rooms upstairs.
4 rooms upstairs? How do you know, Roger? The agent never mentioned how many rooms the house had.
Didn't he? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's go upstairs and look. Come on, Janie.
All right, Roger.
This house would require very little in the way of repairs.
But it hasn't any electricity, Roger.
Oh, well, we could use lamps until a line could be run to the house. Look, Janie, there are 4 rooms up here.
So there are. It's as though you've been in this house before.
Yes, I have a feeling I have. Well, perhaps that's the reason I like it. But, darling, you've been ever so quiet since we entered the house. Don't you care for it?
I don't know. It seems unfriendly.
Well, if you don't like it, then we'll keep on looking until we find a house we both like.
Oh, nonsense. I've been married to you too long not to know you've got your heart set on this place. We'll never find anything nicer. Now, that room with the southern exposure will be our bedroom.
Oh, Janie, you're wonderful. And we will be happy here. I know we will.
Because I loved Roger and wanted to see him happy, I buried my fears and agreed to the purchase of the house. The first evening in our new home, as I went about the drawing room unpacking our belongings, I suddenly realized how cold and clammy the room was in spite of the roaring fire. Beyond the feeble light of the oil lamp, the room was thick with fog. Suddenly it seemed to engulf me like a shroud, and I felt the icy coldness of the grave upon me. My heart pounded in my ears. I felt faint. After what seemed like eternity, The fog rolled away. The light of the lamp became brighter. I felt unbearably alone. I rushed out of the drawing room. As I opened the door to the study, I saw Roger seated before the fireplace. He was staring unseeingly at the ashes of a fire long since gone out. Roger. Roger. Roger!
What? Oh, it's you, Jane.
Roger, is anything wrong?
Wrong?
Yes, you seem so far away, remote. It frightened me. Do you smell perfume in here?
Perfume? Why, yes. It's the perfume I gave you for your birthday, isn't it?
No. No, it isn't my perfume. It smells like narcissus.
Yes, so it does.
How strange. Roger, what were you thinking of when I came in here?
Why, I don't know. My mind was reaching out for something. Something in the past. But it was also confused. It was as if I were wandering in a fog.
Wandering in a fog?
Yes. Well, Jane, you're so pale. Aren't you feeling well?
I'm just tired. It's been rather a tiring day.
Now, you go up to bed, Jane. I'll be along later.
All right, dear. Don't forget to turn out the lamp when you come up.
I won't.
I left the study and Roger. After tossing in my bed for hours, I fell into a fitful sleep. And I suddenly awakened to hear the clock in the hall striking the hour. It was 5 o'clock, and Roger's bed was empty. Quickly slipping on my robe, I left my room and started down the stairs. As I reached the foot of the stairs, I stopped. For to my astonishment, I heard Roger's voice in the study. I slowly approached until I was at the door.
Who are you? This mist. If I could only make you out clearer. It's so difficult. The mist obscures your face. Who are you? Why don't you say something?
Roger! Roger! Unlock the door! It's Jane!
What's wrong? The mist, it's coming between us. I can hardly see you. Oh, don't go. Come back, please. Please come back.
Darling! Darling, please unlock this door. Please! Roger!
And now back to the story as it is written in the sealed book. It was 5 o'clock in the morning when Jane suddenly woke and found Roger locked in his study. He was apparently talking to someone, although there could be no one there. Hysterically, Jane pounded on the study door.
Darling! Darling, unlock the door, please! Roger!
is it, Jane?
I was so frightened. Who are you talking to?
Talking to? I don't know. I must have been dreaming.
Oh, yes. Yes, you must have been. There isn't anyone in here. Roger, the scent of narcissus. So strong in here.
Yes.
Much stronger than it was at midnight. Roger, what were you dreaming about?
It was night. All around me was a mist. And there was a woman.
A woman?
Yes. I could barely make out her face in the swirling mists, but it was a beautiful face. The most beautiful face I've ever seen.
Did you feel you'd seen her before?
Yes, but I couldn't remember where.
Oh, what do you make of it, Roger?
Make of it? Oh, it was just a dream, I suppose. What else could it have been?
Roger said it was a dream. But in his heart, I knew he believed it was more than a dream. During the days that followed, he'd pace incessantly in the study, paying no attention to me, living only for the coming of twilight. And when night did fall, he'd lock himself in the study, forbidding me to disturb him. Hours would pass, and then suddenly I'd hear him talking to her, begging her to come closer, pleading with her to speak to him. At last one night, I couldn't stand it any longer. When he began talking to her, I knocked on the door of the study until he opened it.
What do you want? I thought I told you I wasn't to be disturbed.
I must talk to you.
You must be fool. She was about to speak to me for the first time. And you knocked on the door and caused her to vanish.
Oh, Roger, you're not in love with her. You couldn't be.
But I am. There's never a moment I don't think of her. Wish that I might see her.
Oh, what you're saying is madness. You can't be in love with her. She's from another world, a phantom, an evil ghost.
No, she isn't evil. She's beautiful. So beautiful I'd give my life for her.
Roger, listen to me. You must come away from this house and from her. She's cast a spell over you, and it can only lead to disaster. Roger, we must leave this house at once.
No, never.
I insist.
Get out, do you hear? And don't come back. I'll never leave her, never.
Dr. Smith, in view of what I've told you, do you think you can help me?
Now, you say, Mrs. Barton, that when you drove out to Wickford Manor for the first time, your husband seemed to recognize the house?
Certain things about it, yes.
There's a history to Wickford Manor, though few people are familiar with it.
A history to Wickford Manor?
Yes. The house was built in 1811 by Martin Wickford for his bride, Harriet. A year later, Harriet's sister Isabel came to live with the Wickfords. She was a remarkably beautiful woman, so beautiful that Martin Wickford fell in love with her, and she with him.
Then what happened?
Well, one day, while Martin was hunting in the mountains, he was killed in a fall. When his companions brought his body back to Wickford Manor, they found Harriet, his wife, dead. She'd been poisoned.
Poisoned?
Yes. At the sight of Martin's body, Isabel went to pieces and confessed that she had poisoned her sister. Before she could be arrested, she committed suicide in the study.
In the study?
Yes. In the years that followed the tragedy, Wickford Manor had a succession of tenants, all of whom left after a brief residence.
You mean they saw her too?
Well, the tenants made no claim of seeing anyone, but their fear of an unknown element in the house led them to leave.
But if the other tenants never saw her, why should Roger see her?
Mrs. Barton, you said that your husband seemed to know many things beforehand about the house.
Yes, I recall joking with him about it. I said it was as though he'd been there before.
Perhaps he had, long ago, as another person.
As another person?
Yes.
You mean Roger had once known Wickford Manor in some previous life?
How else do you account for his remembrance of things that he'd never seen in this life?
Oh, you're trying to tell me something, Doctor. What is it?
Perhaps your husband and the spirit of the woman Isabel are able to bridge the gap of time and space because they had once known each other in another life.
Doctor, you don't believe that Roger was Martin Wickford?
I don't know. What is happening at Wickford Manor is beyond the knowledge of the living. But this I do know. We must return to the manor at once, for the spirit that's abroad in the house is one to be feared more than death itself.
Please come closer so I can see you better. Oh, you're beautiful. Beautiful. Won't you tell me who you are? We have met before, haven't we?
Yes. We've met before.
What? You spoke.
I've waited so long for you, Martin.
Why do you call me Martin? My name's Roger.
It was Martin. Then.
Then? What do you mean?
Look at me, Martin. Look into my eyes. Don't you remember me?
Yes, but where?
Think, Martin. Think. Time is the barrier between us, but we shall surmount it. Think back into the dim past when you lived in this house and we loved each other.
Isabel.
Yes, Martin. Isabel. Do you remember now?
Yes, Isabel, yes. I remember everything up to the day I went hunting in the mountains and fell. What happened to me, Isabel? What happened to us? To our love?
Don't think of that accursed day, darling, but think of the future. Our happiness together.
Oh, yes, Isabel. Our happiness together.
Roger. Roger, please open this door. Roger!
Martin, she's come back.
Yes. Darling, don't go. Don't leave me.
I must, Martin. I must. We could be so happy together.
Come back. Please come back.
Roger, please unlock this door, please.
What do you want? What did you come for?
Roger, this is Dr. Smith. Doctor, this is my husband.
What the devil did you bring him here for?
Roger, please. I thought perhaps he could help us.
Help us? I don't need anybody's help.
I must warn you, Mr. Barton. The spirit of the woman you see in the study is an evil one that will lead you to disaster.
I don't need help from you or anybody else. I'll get out of this house. Get out, both of you.
Doctor, we must do something. We must.
We shall, but not tonight. I must have time to think about it. You'd better return to the village with me.
No, I don't want to leave him in the house alone. Something might happen to him.
Very well, then. I'll return late tomorrow afternoon, and when I do, we shall take action.
Isabel, where are you? I'm alone now, darling. Please come back.
I'm here, Martin. I'm here.
Oh, yes, I see you now. Promise you'll never leave me again, Isabel.
I don't want to leave you, darling. But that woman is trying to come between us.
Jane?
Yes. She hates me, Martin. She will come between us if you don't get rid of her.
I tried to make her leave, but she wouldn't go.
Then that leaves only one thing to do.
One thing to do?
Yes. Come. We must hurry. It's almost dawn, and I'll have to leave you soon. Look at her, lying there asleep, so defenseless. Yes. Go ahead. Put your hands around her throat and squeeze.
Oh,
Hurry, Martin, before she awakens.
Who's there?
Answer her.
It's Roger.
Oh, for a moment I was so frightened. What time is it?
It's just dawn.
Hurry, Martin, I must leave.
Yes.
Roger. Roger, why are you looking at me like that? Oh, no, Roger. No, Roger!
Tighter, Martin. Tighter until she stops struggling and is still forever.
Isabel, don't leave me. Isabel, where are you? Isabel, please don't leave me, Isabel.
Roger, she made you do it, didn't she? Oh, Roger, Roger.
And now to continue the story as it is written in the sealed book. As Jane finished describing to the doctor how Roger, urged on by the sinister spirit he called Isabel, had nearly strangled her, the doctor spoke.
And then, Mrs. Barton, you say your husband stopped choking you and ran out of your room and down to the study?
Yes, Dr. Smith.
Oh, I should have known better than to let you remain in this house last night. Don't you see? This Isabel knows that if he murders you, he will then join her cursed spirit forever in this house.
Oh, look. Look, it's growing dark out. Soon she'll appear to bewitch him again. Doctor, we must do something.
Very well. This woman, Isabel, has been denied the peace of the grave because her sister's blood is on her hands. She belongs neither to the living or the dead, only to this house. If we could get your husband to leave, perhaps it would break the spell she's cast over him.
Yes, but he absolutely refuses to leave.
Then we must force him to. I could very quickly give him a hypodermic and render him unconscious.
Yes. Then we could carry him away.
And to make sure he never returns to this house, we must burn it to the ground before we leave.
Yes, we will burn it. And the evil that's in it.
Then if you'll lead me to the study.
All right, Doctor. Have you the hypodermic ready?
Yes. Now, when your husband opens the door, just gain his attention for a moment. Long enough for me to give him the injection.
Yes, very well. Roger. Roger, open the door. I want to talk to you.
What do you want? Why has he come back to this house?
He's come to take me away, Roger.
To take you away? Good. I'm glad to see you. What have you stuck me with? What's that in your hand?
Just the hypodermic, Mr. Barton.
A hypodermic? What are you up to? You're trying to take me away from this house. From her. Well, I won't go. I won't go. Do you hear? You'll...
Oh, Doctor, quick, quick, he's falling.
I've got him, Mrs. Barton. Now I suggest you take that lamp and smash it on the floor.
Yes. Let's burn the place down to the ground.
Yeah, that's it. Now you'd better help me carry your husband out of the house. In a little while, this house will be a raging inferno. He's regaining consciousness, Mrs. Barton.
Will he remember what's happened?
I don't know.
How are you, darling?
Hello, Janie. Oh, but I had a terrible dream. I'm so confused.
You've been very ill, but now you're going to be all right.
Of course.
Oh. Where am I?
You're in my home, Mr. Barton.
Yes, darling. Our house burned down last night.
Burned down? Oh, that's too bad. Well, we only had one night in our new home.
One night? Oh, yes, of course, Roger.
Well, Mrs. Barton, in spite of the loss of your home, I think you were very fortunate, for there are things far worse than fire.
Yes, Doctor. And I can never thank you enough for breaking the bridge between the past and the present.
What are you two talking about?
Oh, nothing, darling. Nothing at all. Roger, you've been humming that all day.
Well, I like it.
But you can't carry a tune.
Oh, nonsense. I've carried this tune for 300 miles, and I'll carry it the rest of the way to California.
Oh, what a trip this is going to be. Roger,
What?
do you smell something?
Yes. Good night air.
No, I don't mean that.
Well, what's wrong with you, Janie?
Don't you smell it?
What? You mean that perfume?
Yes.
Seems familiar. What is it?
Narcissus.
Narcissus?
Yes. Oh, Roger, we haven't escaped from her. She's here in this car.
Mart, it's Isabel. Think, darling. Think.
Roger. You look as though you're listening to her.
You do remember everything now. Don't you, Martin?
Yes.
Darling, we must get rid of her. She's trying to come between us.
Yes.
Oh, Roger, you mustn't listen to her.
Once she's gone, we'll be together forever, darling.
Yes. Forever.
Roger. Roger, why have you stopped the car? No. No, don't look at me like that. Roger, no. Stay away from me. You mustn't.
A few hours after Jane was found strangled in the abandoned car, state police arrested Roger Barton and charged him with murder. Strangely enough, as Roger was being hanged for his crime, witnesses at the execution noticed a strange scent of perfume about the gallows. Some people said afterwards that it was Narcissus, and they remarked on the expression of joy on Roger's face as he died. And now, keeper of the book, before you close the great volume, show us the tale we tell next time. This one. Ah, yes, a weird and incredible tale of a wife who was being blackmailed because of her past. But because she did not know the identity of her blackmailer, she suffered 1,000 times over. The tale is called Out of the Past. Be sure to be with us again next time when the sound of the great gong heralds another strange and exciting tale from The Sealed Book. The Sealed Book, written by Bob Arthur and David Cogan, is produced and directed by Jock McGregor.
It's intermission time at the Baba Gully Show. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for some hot popcorn? How's about your favorite soft drinks, which are sparkling cold? And there's all kinds of candy to tempt you. It's radio time, folks. Enjoy the rest of the program. Hope you're enjoying today's radio program. When it's done, be sure to check out our channel over at Watchwaddle. Enjoy some tunes with a nice cold soda. During the intermission, our radio show brings to you a cartoon for the record. We now return you to our radio show.
The Screaming Skull is a motion picture that reaches its climax in shocking horror. Its impact is so terrifying that it may have an unforeseen effect. It may kill you. Therefore, its producers feel they must assure free burial services to anyone who dies of fright while seeing The Screaming Skull.
Welcome, Mrs. Whitlock.
Lovely, Eric.
You look disappointed for a moment.
I did not. It's really lovely. Oh, look. bet that's the den there.
That's right.
Is that a bedroom?
Yes, it is.
Gonna be ours?
You'll need some fixing first.
It was her room, wasn't it?
Yes. Come on along. I'll show you the rest of the house. Rather forbidding now, I suppose, empty like this. But it was usually this way. Shortly after Marion and I were married, she removed all the furniture her parents had left her. This is our home, she used to say, and we must choose everything carefully. Well, we didn't get very far before she died. But now that you're here, it's going to be lovely again. I'll get the things out of storage tomorrow. They're all in town at the warehouse. And I'll take care of that, too.
You have candles?
Sure.
It'll be twice as romantic.
Speaking of being romantic. I got to carry you over the threshold.
I love you. I love you.
Jenny, I thought life had died out for me.
What's that up there?
Oh, that's where Mickey keeps his gardening things.
Who's Mickey?
The gardener. He's kept it up the 2 years I've been away.
By himself?
That's right.
Must work awfully hard.
Oh, he and Marion would spend hours on end working here in the gardens and up in the greenhouse back there. See, he loved her very much. Sometimes I used to wonder who she was, my wife or Mickey's nursemaid. You know, I don't think he quite believes she's gone. I think he expects her to show up one of these mornings and scold her for neglecting the gardens.
You still love her, don't you? No, I'm not jealous. I'm grateful to her. I think to have loved once, really loved, to learn how to love always. Learning it from her, you give again to me. I wish there was some way to thank her. Who's that?
I don't know. They're driving around the back. Come on along.
Eric!
I see Eric.
Please stop by to meet your new wife.
Oh, Eric, this is a wonderful surprise.
It's been a long time.
It has.
Reverend.
Good to see you, Eric.
Jenny, this is Mrs. Snow.
I'm very happy to meet you.
Jenny, this is a lovely surprise.
And the Reverend Mr. Snow.
Hello, my dear.
Oh, she's sweet, Eric.
I know.
I happened to be going into town. I ran into Mr. Mauer. He told me you were getting back today.
And we thought we'd just drop by and bring you something for your dinner.
Oh, nice.
And it'll save you all the bother of shopping while you're trying to get settled.
Then why don't you stay for dinner?
Oh, no, not
Oh,
tonight.
no, we wouldn't think of that.
Oh, now, please say
I'd
yes.
like for you to.
It would be like old times.
All right, on the condition that I do the cooking.
You don't have to.
You know, I know that, but I'd love to.
Well, there's Mickey. Excuse me, honey. Mickey!
Ah, poor Mickey. He keeps this place up like a shrine.
Eric told me how he loved Marion.
Mickey's father was a gardener here when Marion's mother was alive. Mickey and Marion grew up together here.
Jenny, this is Mickey.
How do you do, Mickey? I hope we'll be good friends.
Well, Mickey.
you, Mickey.
Well, shall we all go inside?
It's a good idea. Mickey, remember you promised me some of those rose cuttings.
Nice seeing you again, Mickey. I'm going to have to get you down to the barber shop one day very soon.
Excuse us, Mickey.
All right, that's done.
Oh, now please be careful. Oh, Edward, now don't break your neck.
You're doing great, Reverend.
Don't worry.
Good heavens. Honestly, the two of them are just like children.
Well, that doesn't look too bad, Eric.
Jenny, I hope you have more luck in getting your husband to mine than I've had with mine.
You know, you've got to admit it does make the room look better.
Very well, Tyson. For penance, you can come and help me with dinner. Now, come on. Edward, you keep Jenny company?
Yes, dear.
No, Mary, no. Send them away.
Huh?
No. Oh, she's so very nice, Eric.
Jenny?
Yes.
Isn't she wonderful?
Yes, she's not at all like Marion, and I think that's for the best. You know, so many men, when they lose a wife, they try so hard to deny the loss they marry someone exactly like the first wife. It hardly seems fair using the living to bring back the dead, does it?
No, I suppose it doesn't.
We make a prison for ourselves out of the past, at least our sentimental, wished-for pasts.
Mrs. Snow,
Yes, dear.
there's something I must tell you and the Reverend.
Well, of course, Eric. What is it?
You see, Jenny has not had a very happy past.
Oh?
And talking about it or about something that might strongly remind her of it, she's very impressionable.
Is there something wrong, Eric?
No, not really. You see, she lost her parents many years ago in a very tragic way. And talking about unhappy pasts only, she's very impressionable. See, I want her to be happy, Mrs. Snow.
Of course you do, and so do we all. Now, how did she lose them? Well, look, I'm not prying, dear. It's just that Mr. Snow and I can help better if we know something about it.
They drowned in an accident. Jenny saw it all.
Who's Mr. Mauer?
Mr. Mauer? Why, he's a lawyer in town.
I thought no one knew we were coming. You said you heard from Mr. Mauer?
Well, Eric wrote him. He takes care of the estate, or what's left of it.
Oh, that's right. Eric has to see him tomorrow.
Well, Eric's co-executor of the estate along with Mr. Mauer. You see, Marion's death was so sudden that, well, all that was left to Eric was the house and these grounds. Mr. Mauer told me that Eric had found someone very sweet and very kind, and with whom he was very much in love. He didn't say enough.
How did Marion die?
Didn't Eric tell you?
I think the subject's rather painful to him. I'd like to make him talk about it. Would you mind telling me? I'd like to know.
It was a rainy day. She and Mickey had been working up there in the greenhouse. She left him to go back to the house for a few minutes. The way we pieced it together after the accident is that while she was coming down this path, apparently it began to rain very hard. She must have run along here. We don't know, of course, what happened then. Perhaps she slipped on a leaf. Base of her skull was smashed. It was thought that she hit her head on the edge of the cement wall where we're sitting. And she fell in there. She died in the water. That's where Eric found her 10 minutes later.
said, Mickey, wait here. I'm going down to the house for just a minute. Wait here, Mickey, you said. And then you went away in the rain. And you didn't come back to play. Why did you...
And don't forget that you and Eric are coming for lunch day after tomorrow.
We'll do better than that. We'll come to church on Sunday as well.
Oh, getting Eric to church is like moving a mountain.
He'll come.
Come along, my dear. It's getting late.
Eric, thank you very much for bringing Jenny into our lives.
Thank you for the dinner.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Edward, did you know that Jenny's very wealthy?
Oh, yes. Mr. Ma told me in town today.
Well, she's not at all like Marion. You know, she's so gentle and timid, as if she were afraid of something.
I knew you'd like my friends, dear. What's this? Huh?
Just happy, that's all.
Come.
So happy.
Come on. How are the cots?
Fine.
What are you reading?
Something Mrs. Snow sent over.
Interesting.
It's called Beast in the Jungle. It's all about a man who waited all of his life for something great, wonderful to happen to him. He had only one good friend. It's a woman whom he confided. And she died. At her grave, he suddenly realized that she was the great and wonderful thing that he'd waited for all of his life. But it was too late then. His memories, like a beast in the jungle, rise up out of the past, overwhelm him.
Poor fellow. He doesn't know what he missed.
Eric? Eric? that water?
Lily pad?
I don't think Mickey looks for her in the pond.
Jenny, now stop it.
I can't help it, Eric. That bad feeling's come back.
I forbid you to talk about it.
She looked like that, Eric. My mother looked like that.
Jenny.
I can't help it, Eric.
Darling, you're just talking yourself into those same old fears.
I've got to talk about it, Eric. I have to talk about
I
it.
forbid you to talk about it now.
Just that with you beside me, I'm alive again. I don't want to be sick anymore.
Honey, look. Now, you mustn't go on thinking like this. Besides, how could a very poorly done self-portrait upset you so much?
I know it's only my own fear. It's my own guilt that I can't get away from. Eric, I'm sorry.
Oh, I want you to listen to me. I want you to believe me. Now, you were sick once, yes, but you were cured. Mickey caused this. You may as well know. He does look for Marion night after night down by that pond. And he probably comes here afterwards. I'm going to speak to Mickey in the morning. Now, don't you see? How simply it's all explained away.
But if I also heard a scream, Eric, before when I went to the hospital, I was hearing things. I'm hearing them again.
What did you hear?
It was a high, strange scream.
High, strange scream. Like a peacock's cry?
What's that sound like?
Come here. Sound like that? You see? It's all very, very real.
Such a fool.
You feeling better now?
Yes.
Night. We won't be bothered with any of Mickey's nightly visits anymore. I've forbidden him to come into the house.
I was just nervous last night. I wish you wouldn't take it out on Mickey.
Now, he's a child. Must be disciplined.
I'd like him to feel I'm his friend.
Why don't you do some gardening with him while I'm in town? If he sees you're interested, you win him over quickly enough.
Wait a minute. I need a list of staples, mostly.
Are you sure you don't want to come in with me?
You get more done without me.
Got to see about the lights, the phone, the bank, and the warehouse people about that furniture. You know, that cop's just about broken my back.
Yeah, don't forget to see Mr. Mauer.
I have to see him this evening. It's a bore, but I'll have to see him.
Will you be home in time for dinner? I'll wait for you.
Now, if I'm not, don't you worry, darling. Getting out of Mauer's clutches sometimes requires an act of God. I love you.
Hello, Mickey. Oh, look out. You almost cut him. It's a handsome one, isn't he? So cuddly and warm.
When I was a little girl, I used to want to be a caterpillar. So I was a very little girl. There you go. Marion must have loved her gardens. We'll keep them lovely for her always. You know what I'd like to do, Mickey? I'd like to pick some of the nicest flowers and take them to her. Would you like that?
Yes.
Eric told me she was near here. Would you show me where? That all right, Mickey? I'm sure it was a great loss to all of you, Mickey.
She cries
Cries?
in the night.
Dead people don't cry, Mickey.
I heard her.
Heard her? Mickey?
I don't think he quite expects she's gone.
She cries. She cries in the night.
I think he expects her to show up one of these mornings. She died in the water. The base of her skull was smashed.
She didn't want to die.
She died in the water. Jenny. Jenny? Jenny? Honey? Honey? It's all right, darling. It's all right. I'm right here. I'm right here. Just lie back. That's right. Just lie back. It's all right.
Eric, when you found me, what else was there?
What do you mean, what else?
A skull?
Jenny.
I know there was no skull.
Of course not.
Mickey says Marion cries at night.
Why, that childish, stupid...
Don't blame him. We both hear the peacocks. He, out of his love for Marion, wishes the cry to be from her. I, out of my sickness...
Now, darling, we've been all through that nonsense last night.
Don't you see? I've never imagined seeing these things before. To just stand there and see it. Have it turn out to be nothing. Eric? I want you to call Dr. Ann tomorrow in New York. I want you to take me back.
No, Jenny. Now, it may sound selfish, but don't you see, having you to love, I'm happy too. I don't want to lose that. Now, in the morning, Mr. Snow will be here, and we'll tell him. He's very comforting. And I think he'll agree with me.
About what?
I think it's Mickey. You see, he hated me from the first. Marion was his friend, and when I married her, he thought I was taking her away from him. And now that she's dead, taken away from him forever, I suppose in that childish mind of his, I'm responsible for that. And now, because you're my wife and in Marion's house, he hates you too.
I don't think Mickey's responsible. He's not quick enough or clever enough.
And who?
Myself. It's all in my own mind.
We do need somebody else, darling. We need somebody outside of the confusions of our love for each other. Now, the Reverend Snow will be here in the morning.
Who's in there?
Well, this much is real anyway. Look here, Jenny. You see, this is how you gouged your hand. You say you threw the skull down here where Eric is looking?
Yes.
Did you find anything, Eric?
Nothing yet.
Surely, Jenny, you must agree with me that anything as fragile as a skull would have been smashed to bits down there. And Eric has found nothing. And to assume that the skull would move of its own, all the way from there to the driveway door. Now, Jenny, there's no reason for that.
Don't you see, I agree with you. Did Eric tell you I spent over a year in a sanitarium?
Oh, Eric told Mrs. Snow that you were very impressionable, but that's all. I know lots of people needing a rest go to sanitariums.
This wasn't quite that kind of sanitarium. You see, I grew up loving my father and hating my mother. Well, she never knew it. Something I kept to myself. She was very beautiful. Very gay, like her. Very much. And I knew she resented that I was not more like her. I used to lie awake at night and wish she were dead.
Well, that isn't very unusual. I understand many children go through such a period.
I was no longer a child. And one day, I got my wish. They were both drowned. I can still hear her scream. I was all alone on the little beach. And all I could see was the overturned boat on the top of the waves. And I kept trying to reach them. And the waves kept throwing me back. And then I could hear her cries no more. And then hours later, the men came and searched for the bodies. They were never found. That's when this bad feeling started. This feeling that if I'd really wanted to, I could have saved them, but I didn't. That I really killed them.
No, Jenny. You tried. You tried your very best.
Did. But thinking, begging, praying couldn't make this feeling go away. That's when they took me to the hospital. They told me I was cured.
Jenny.
They told me I was cured.
Mickey? Mickey! You go on. I'll be there in time for lunch.
Well, where do you think he's gone off to, Eric?
Who knows about Mickey? He might be hiding.
You looked at Marion's grave?
Mickey? Mickey! Mickey! Mickey? Mickey! Mickey!
Eric, did you find him? No. Where's Jenny? She's with Mrs. Snow on the patio. Eric, I think I should tell you that Jenny has confided in me about the sanitarium.
Oh. Does your wife know? I told her Jenny was impressionable, but not that.
I haven't said a word to her.
Mr. Snow, you can do both Jenny and me a great favor by forgetting she ever told you that.
But, Eric, if it helps explain,
It explains nothing.
if I were you, Eric, I'd take her away. If she's so impressionable and that house frightens her so much, why subject her to it?
Look, I can't do a thing like that. It'd be the worst thing for her. Mr. Snow, it would be admitting she was sick again. I want her to be happy. We'll stay here.
Perhaps you know best, Eric.
See, I've got a simple and old-fashioned piece of philosophy. The only cure for her fear is to teach her she's loved. I mean, really loved. And I love her so much.
God bless you for that, Eric. She's a very fortunate woman having someone like you to care for her.
Good night, Sue.
Oh, Jenny, Jenny.
I'm sorry.
Darling, you've got to believe it will not happen again. Ever. Mickey? Mickey!
Eric. Eric!
All right. What are you going to do with that skull?
Stop it! It wasn't his
Where did you
fault.
get it?
Leave him alone.
I'll take care of this, Jenny. Now, I know you don't like me, Mickey. I know you do anything to get us to leave here. This idiotic attempt to scare us as if we were children. It was you, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
No, not me, not me.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Come on.
I wish you'd apologize to him. You know as well as I do it's not his fault. It's all in my own mind.
Jenny, I'm going to do something. And you're going to help me do it.
What's that?
That portrait upstairs. It reminds me of your mother.
Yes.
You were fine until you saw it. Now it has you all preoccupied with memories of the past. We're going to burn it.
It's precious to you, Eric.
The picture means nothing to me. I want you to be happy. We can't be until this fear is out of our lives. All right, Jenny. Go on, Jenny.
Let's go back to the house.
It's only the peacocks.
Fire's almost out.
Yes. We can't let those ashes stand overnight. And the brush in these hills are a regular tinderbox. You want to help me? Now, you feeling better?
It's as if I destroyed her with my own hands. She'll come back, Eric. She'll come back.
Darling, if you go on talking that way, you destroy the whole purpose. Now, the thing is out of the house, and it's over. You just give it half a chance. You'll begin to forget it. And if you'll just spread those ashes out a little for me, I'll get the water to it. That's it. What is it, darling?
The skull! It's the skull!
Darling, there's no skull there. There's no skull there, darling. There is no skull there, Jenny. Darling, there's no skull there. There's no skull.
You going to be able to catch a plane tonight?
When we get into town, I will call Mr. Maurer. He'll arrange a midnight plane.
Thought there'd be more time. Time for so many wonderful things.
It's gonna be all right.
Of course.
It's just me.
It's gonna be all right.
Good evening, my dear. Mrs. Snow's hens thought you might like some fresh eggs for your breakfast in the morning. Hello, Eric.
This is a surprise.
Those hens labored mightily, as you can see.
Fine, I'll take them.
You'll excuse me, dear? What is it, Eric?
I've got to take Jenny away. That hospital she was in before.
It happened again?
I thought it would help her if we got rid of that portrait. You know the one.
Yes.
We burned it. She saw a skull in the ashes.
You were there?
I saw nothing, of course.
Of course.
And I thought it was Mickey. But when I was there myself and I saw her... Mr. Snow, there's something I've never told you. I've never told anybody. But when Jenny was put away in that hospital, she tried to do away with herself. I'm terribly afraid.
You think she might try it again?
I know she will, unless I get her back to that hospital.
When are you going?
Tonight.
We shall miss you. Mrs. Snow and I have grown very fond of Jenny.
Yes, and she of you.
I don't suppose you'll be coming back here again, Eric?
No. Never.
I'll miss him and his wife. He's very kind.
Yes?
When I said goodbye to him just now, he tried to talk me out of what I saw.
Oh.
He said he felt the skull was real. Some kind bring some men in the morning to search the estate.
Where?
Everywhere. He was just talking, trying to be kind.
I suppose.
I'll go upstairs and pack. You want to come with me?
I'll be up in a minute.
You saw me put it in the pond. You must have. Where is it?
I don't know.
Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Where is it?
I don't know.
Tell me the truth. You took it. Tell me. Tell me!
Didn't take it.
Who?
Not me.
Who?
Marion took it. Marion took it.
You and your Marion.
Edward, in the name of heaven.
Mickey, where did you find this?
Pond?
Well, who put it there?
He did?
Eric?
He did.
Then there was a skull. But Eric said that he didn't see it when Jenny saw it.
I know.
Oh, but why should Eric lie like that?
Mickey, those other times with the skull, did you do it?
No.
Mickey, you've never lied to me before. Lying is a sin. You understand that? You must not lie to me now. Did you do it, Mickey, all those other times?
No.
I simply do not understand that. If it wasn't Mickey.
And it wasn't her imagination.
But why would Eric do such a thing?
I don't know. I just don't know.
Well, what do you think we should do about it?
We're going back there, to that house.
Right.
Mickey?
Mickey? Eric and I are leaving, Mickey. I'd like to say goodbye. I'd like to leave as your friend, Mickey. Mickey? Mickey? Jenny, are you all right? Oh, Jenny.
Eric tried...
Shh. Oh,
Where is Eric?
Don't.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'll find him.
It's all right, Edward. Now be careful. Shh. It's all right, darling. Oh, it's all right. Oh, it's all right. Don't cry. Come on.
Eric! Eric! Please answer me! Eric! Eric! Eric, where are you? Eric! Eric! Eric.
Why did he do it?
Your money. The question is now, did Marion die in an accident? I suppose we'll never know.
They're gone. Rest.
Thanks for watching the Baba Ghoulie Show by OTR Halloween Holidays. This is Waddle the Duck saying check out channel Watchwaddle for some fun cartoons with no static.